Alright, on to the next step here. Dismounted my light buckets. Any idea what those look like? Just use, you're supposed to use this double-sided tape. It's really thin, but I still found it was too thick. It still left too much of a gap around the headlight lens, so I just went ahead and used a dab of shoe glue. It's worked really well. Holds them in place while they dry, and it allows a really thin adhesive barrier. So I also cut out that front, I guess it's a radiator vent or intercooler vent. And that's going to allow me to mount this intercooler up in there. Get a little bit more scale effect going on. I'm thinking about cutting these guys out and then getting some straws or something to do the intercooler piping, just to add to that effect. But I think that'll add some pretty nice looks. Alright, so I'm going to do a little work with the intercooler here. I think I've decided that I'm going to also cut out these little air inlets here, and then using some bendy straws I can attach those to this intercooler and paint them all silver, and then I'll attach it to the front of the drift car here, and it'll get a nice scale look with the intercooler kind of recessed in there with the tubing and everything. Light buckets mounted, those are still drying, so I can't put LEDs in them yet. Let's get these channels cut out of here and we'll update again. Alright, so here we have a little more progress. First off, special thanks to at Wayne's RC World and at RC Noob on Twitter. They gave me some nice tips here. I was having some issues with the decals, and those guys were kind enough to give me a couple tips to get this vinyl to lay down. It's still not perfect. I still have a crease or two here or there, but Wayne was a big help. Went out and grabbed a heat gun and just hit it. You can't get the body too hot because it'll destroy the Lexan, but the decals are a lot more sensitive to heat, so you can get those to lay down. So got the front light buckets in using that technique that those guys are talking about. I got the tail lights done. Those look pretty fantastic actually. With the light bucket behind there, it gives it depth, really makes it look pretty nice. So all that stuff's on there. I'm getting ready to mount my intercooler. Just used some bendy straws, painted those up. Use some carbon rod. I'm going to sink that down into the bumper, and that'll give it some nice depth. Should look pretty cool. Then I can move on to this thing. I'm going to completely gut all the electronics out of it and decided to go brushless. I'm going to put 17.5 in there and see how it works. Should be decent for drifting. I'm going to get that Gigantor servo out of there. And I still need to mount the tires. They're just sitting on the rims right now, but it's getting closer and closer. This thing will finally be done. Alright, update a bit again in a bit. Alright, intercooler's done. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It's basically just stuck in the bumper there. Used some carbon rod and punched a couple holes. Might put a tad of glue on there to hold it in there so it doesn't rattle loose, but I think it's in there pretty good. And it's removable if I need to take it off, so well, time to see about getting this exhaust mounted. Like a little N1 style muffler. Let's go and figure that out. Decided to use a little bit of vinyl on these tubes to simulate the silicone, I don't know what they're called, adapters or couplers or whatever that you use on intercooler piping. So just to give it a little bit more scale appeal. Here, a little more progress just on the lighting. Dark Drifter LED kit with the Yokomo light buckets. Just a dab of shoe goo to hold those in there. Holds it in there nice and secure, but you can just tear it off if you ever need to take it apart. And just a little dab of shoe goo to hold this is the function light to change the light modes. On the car, I've decided not to work on the chassis at all. I researched, and getting this thing set up for counter steer was going to be a huge pain in the arse. There's parts just aren't readily available to do it. Just some kind of small companies in Japan that are making the gears for it, as well as you have to mod them to get them to work. So they came out with a stock counter steer chassis, and it's really cheap. There was a holiday shipping deal. It was free shipping over $50. Chassis was like $128, and it comes set up with like a 2-to-1 overdrive ratio in the back and the rear. And I ordered that and the one-way, the front one-way, which helps with switchbacks and transitions, as well as steering and some body mounting setups. So chassis wise, gonna be waiting on that to come in, but continue work on the body here. I'll get some lighting, and there's what it looks like all lit up. And then of course Dark Drifter, it's got all the fun light modes. So anyway, that's it. I got a little bit more work to do. The LEDs bleed light on the inside of the body, and in super low light it makes the inside of the body glow, so I have to do some liquid mask or something to kind of block that light so it looks decent at night or in the dark. But that's the body pretty much done. Just waiting on that chassis to show up. I'll get all my electronics and everything moved over to that, but pretty pleased with how it turned out. Anyway, update again when I get the new chassis and have a little more something to show you. Catch you later.